obviously we've been getting a little kind of hints about what's going on with Alex's own mystery in terms of the case of who the secondary person might be. What can you share about what your hopes are for how you'll format that question? Is that a season-long question? Is that a series-long question? What can you say about that?
I see it as a season-long question. I don't like to artificially drag things out. It's just for storytelling, I like to give the viewers some satisfaction at the end of the season that at least some questions, if not all questions, will be answered by the end of the season. There will be a satisfying resolve to that mystery by the end of the season. But it will be something that plays throughout the season and something that's going on underneath while they're solving these sort of case of the week stories. You also have them dealing with this very personal case that's very emotional for both of them. It is the case that that made Alec who he is, that has left him scarred both physically and emotionally. And it is Marissa's first case as an FBI agent, and the case, of course, in which she met her husband. So it's very personal and very emotional for both of them, and it will be sort of the underpinnings of the season the whole time.
You clearly love TV. You clearly have fans. Last time
I
we
do.
spoke was at Timeless when you were for that finale episode. And so, I'm curious specifically for that show, but just in general, how you feel like your experience loving television and kind of engaging with the fans and passionate fan bases is helping you with a show like this, especially launching a new show in the wild world of 2023.
Oh gosh, thanks for bringing up Timeless. That is one of my favorite things I've ever done. I loved that show more than life itself. I love that show. But one of the things but you do, like, that was also my first, no, not first experience, but one of my earlier experiences with with such a passionate fan base, and you have a responsibility to these people, and I don't like to, I don't like to mess with the fans. I like to keep them engaged. I like to keep them interested. And I think one of the things that these two shows have in common, one of the things I loved about Timeless was that we were telling a different story every week, but you really cared about those characters. You really cared about the relationships between and among all of the characters on that show. And then every episode brought you into a literally a new world, and that show, it was a new time period. But we do the same thing on this show, except minus the time periods part. We have characters who I hope that you will be very invested in their relationships to each other. But we will also be exploring that fun new world every week, that they are brought into, as a result of the case. So, I think that kind of like, Timeless, I always felt like it was like a box of chocolates, like, ooh, where are we going to go this week? And I hope that fans feel that way about this show as well. Like, what are we, what kind of case is it going to be this week? Because it's not going to be a predictable, like, murder of the week. Every week somebody's murdered. I mean, episode 3, we have a plane crash. We have stories coming up with a kidnapping. We have stories coming up with a potentially rigged poker game. So we have all different, these different kinds of stories. We go into the art world in one episode. And I think every episode is going to be a little bit different, and that people are going to, I think that the fans really enjoyed that on Timeless, and I think they will enjoy it here as well.